How's it going? Welcome to another episode of Lost Like Mike. I'm your host, Mike Gonzalez. Thank you for coming by and visiting and chatting with me for a minute. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all the messages at lostlikemike@gmail.com. If you haven't had a chance, send me a message. Let me know what you're thinking about, what you'd like to talk about. Let's keep it a symbiotic relationship. You wouldn't tell it from listening to me now. I mean, maybe you can hear a little bit of the rasp, but I've been fighting the cough all week. Just awful. Can't seem to shake it. I've been fighting it for a long time now. I tested negative for everything, so maybe it's some new thing that they can't test for. I don't know, but they're chalking it up to allergies and to residual things associated to heartburn, like that my esophagus is all creating mucus because of the heartburn or something like that. Anyway, I'm wearing a hat today. I never wear hats, but my hair's jacked and I'm not in the mood to mess with it. I'm just being honest. My daughter and my wife are at a sleepover. It's kind of a unconventional sleepover of sorts. She's 8 years old, and so it's problematic. A lot of the 8-year-olds don't necessarily want to spend the entire night. So they opted to hang out and, party like 8-year-olds party. And then when it came to a reasonable hour, some of the kids went home, like my daughter came home, and then they went back and joined them in the early morning for breakfast. I really wish she was here so she could tell me about it, because I'm actually curious what shenanigans they got up to. I mean, what could they really do? But when my wife called, it sounded like they were doing some form of karaoke, young girl screaming kind of things happening. So it's just one of those almost milestones, you know what I mean? Where when I first heard that my daughter was going to sleepover, I was like, the hell she is. I was like, she's still my baby, whatever. And then my wife was like, told me this story about what really is going to go on. And it kind of had the opposite effect, where I felt like the groundhog came out and went back in, for another 6 weeks. I'll take it. You know what I mean? But, I can already tell she's got that teenager attitude. It's not just the I love you daddy anymore. It's like she likes to, I think it's because she's comfortable with me, but like she'll do this thing where she's like, no, dad, you're so stupid. And she won't say that, but I'm just saying she'll bite back and she'll be like, God, just let me do it, or whatever. And she sounds so frustrated, as if, somehow I'm impacting, whatever things she's doing. We were walking in the store, though. We were shopping, and I'm always fishing. You know what I mean? For compliments or for like nice things for her to say. And we're walking, shopping for her friend's birthday party, which I guess is like the slumber party, but it was, anyway. So we were walking through the toy section, and there was these books that were on this little mini shelf, and one of them says, it was a book called I Love My Daddy. And so I said, hey, look at this book. And I showed it to her. And she sits there and reads it for a second. And she said, it's true. And I said, I I didn't say it out loud, but in my mind I said, you know what? I can live another 6 months just on that affirmation of love. You know, it doesn't take much, you know. And I think that kid knows it, that she could, you know, make me suffer. But like I said, I think it's because she knows me. I don't think it's because she's malicious. You know, she right away she'll be very. The things I say, I don't even know they impact her. Like she picked out this one toy for her friend, and then she said, "Okay, it was one of those little action figure packets, right? Imagine like the main character, you know, they have this little playhouse and they have little odds and ends, right? But then it doesn't have the main character in the playset. Okay, it just has these these dressers and like pianos or whatever, these odds and ends in this package." And she says, "Well, my friend likes that main character." I said, "All right, cool, that's cool." And then a little bit later on, she said, "I don't know, I think it's kind of not a cool gift or whatever." And I said, "Yeah, it's kind of lame." And then her face kind of changed a little bit. Didn't even register it really. I was just like, okay. And then her mom came back because she was taking the opportunity to do some Christmas shopping for us. And then I'm just kind of kicking it, and my mom and she says, "Why are you crying?" And I'm like, "What?" And I look over, and she got, you know, a little teary eyed. And then she says, "Dad says my gift is lame." I said, "Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was backing you up. You said that you thought it was not so cool. I was just, yeah, oh, man." And then next, you know. So it's just a woman thing, you know. I mean, like a little girl thing. I don't know the language sometimes, but yeah, it was kind of lame though. And I don't mind being honest. I think that that's important to her. Like, she's got, you know, she has to know that dad's going to tell her what he really thinks, you know. Speaking of the honesty paradox, I went to a Christmas party, which is a whole dynamic to going to, like, I've been going to Christmas parties at her school since preschool. Like, I'm proud of myself for, you know, showing up and when I can, right? So I took time off of work and I went over. And then a lot of the kids, most of the time I know some of the kids, but this year she switched up her classmates. They divided, you know how they divide once they get to a certain grade, they split up. And so it was almost like strike one. Like I walk in and I'm waiting for them to show up. And usually when they show up, it's like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, all the kids kind of know me or whatever. And like a good half of them, most of them didn't know who I was when they walked in. Um, but nor the parents. I recognize maybe one or two parents. And in the past years, like, I was the overachieving mom that was over by the food and stuff, like setting up the plates and getting everything ready and getting the gloves to wear in the hands. And this time there was this other mom that was like, you know, running the show over there and setting up bingo cards and stuff. And I was kind of a little bit jelly. I'm just kidding. No, but she was kind of running it, and I was like, I'm not gonna volunteer myself over there. I'll offer my help when time comes, whatever. Because you can kind of sense that when there's like, I want to call it like that that alpha energy where they want to take charge of the situation. Sometimes you just gotta fade in the shadow and sort of let things sort of, as Michael Jordan says, let the game come to you. Yeah, I wasn't going to, you know, interfere with that energy. But so I had several fat guy moments, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit today. we were standing against the wall, the parents, and then the teacher comes in with the kids and says, okay, parents, would you like to help? Any parents would like to help serve. That's my cue. That's her saying, showtime, like, get involved. So I go over and I assess the situation, see what they're wanting to give. And so I start handing out plates. I set them up on plates. And then I was like, well, we're going to do main course first. And then I don't want to pass out desserts first. So they were going to have pizza. This is important to the end of the story. And so the teacher grabs pepperoni and I grab cheese. And I'm like, anybody want cheese? And then hands start going up, right? Including my daughter. My daughter likes cheese pizza. Okay. So, and you know what? I was very fair. Pizza Hut does not cut their slices even in this case. So I was very fair. I didn't give my daughter the biggest piece just because I could. But I went over and I handed out all these cheese pizzas and then I gave out this other stuff. All right. Fat guy moment number one. There was this one couple that was walking around with these fancy donuts. And I look over at the donuts in this guy has a big tray. And I'm telling you, there was giant pieces of bacon on a donut. And I didn't realize that my mouth was moving and speaking words out loud, but I said, I'm handing out pizza, and I say out loud, what? Donut? Bacon on donuts? What? Bacon? What? How does that work? Bacon on donuts? And the man says, there was only like one on his tray. And he says, help yourself, man. And I said, oh, no. I'm handing out pizza. He's like, have it. It's a delicious bacon donut. And I said, that's crazy talk. Who puts bacon on donuts? It's genius, but who would? Anyway, and I laughed and I said, maybe in a minute, man. And I was handing out the food and stuff. And so the man revisited. He was about to put the box down on the thing. And he's like, got your bacon donut, man. You want your bacon donut? And I was like, okay, you know what? Fine. I'm telling you, I grabbed the bacon donut with a napkin. I went into a corner of the classroom and I swallowed the whole thing in like 2 bites. I don't know where these donuts were from, but legit, it tasted like pancakes with syrup and bacon. It tasted like a bad decision, tastes. That's what I would call it. Bad decisions with bacon, No, it was so good that I said, this would be my undoing right here. If I ever found out where these stupid things were from, I have no business eating these ridiculous, delicious goodness. No business. Get these out of my face. And like the devil, he creeps up out of a corner. Would you like another one? No, you dealer. Get out of here. I don't want your bacon death. Oof. So that was fat guy moment number one. Inhaling that donut. Fat guy moment number two. So my daughter, we'll talk a little bit about it. I don't want to. My daughter, this is an interlude. We're going to just kind of throw this in. It's an important one, but it is. So my daughter got braces. My son already has braces, right? At 18, he started getting his braces. But my daughter's teeth are kind of like my teeth were. When my adult teeth came in as a young child, you know, they didn't know maybe which mouth they were supposed to grow into because they were all growing in different directions. Some teeth weren't even showing themselves. They were just like little white dots, in my gums. So my braces were medically required. My city landscape on my lower teeth were actually um, so like compacted, and um, they were pressing in such a way where it was inevitably gonna like cause for me to lose the teeth, or have further complications. So, and in a similar respect, my daughter, her upper teeth are needing to get their lives together, and so I didn't know. I was at work, and my wife called and said the orthodontist says that we're gonna go ahead and move forward and do the braces. And I was like, okay, cool. So when are we starting? And they're like, no, they're like installing right now. And my daughter is like, I don't know where she gets that trooper nature from, but she is just all in. Like, she was so tough about it. Like, when she got home, I was like, when they're making the mold in your mouth, and she beat me to it. She's like, oh, Dad, I almost choked. I was like, with the mold. And I was like, oh my God, when I got my mold, I was the same way. But I wasn't that tough about it. I was like, like gag reflexes and crying. And like, it was just, I wasn't crying in the conventional way. I was crying like in, choking kind of way. All right. I wasn't like sad about it, But I remember the goo was rolling down, and I thought, this is cement, and it's gonna like flow into my esophagus, and then I'm gonna choke and die. And so I started panicking, and I was like, it was awful. I'm an ugly crier, and then on top of being an ugly crier, I certainly am an ugly panicker. And then combine the two, and I'm sure they didn't want to go on. But yeah, she talked about it like it was just a thing, like, oh yeah, I was choking. And then they did this, and then they did that, and she was just a trooper about the whole damn thing. So, but yeah, so one of the things is that they said that obviously she can't eat everything that she was eating before, especially right now, and as they're just the braces are just have just been put in, and there's a lot of that learning curve of getting used to having this apparatus in your mouth, these metal objects, whatever. So, all right, back to the story. So we were at the Christmas party, and she's like, I can't eat any of this. I can't eat these chicken nuggets. I'm like, you probably could, but whatever. I'm not going to pressure you. But she was like, I'm not going to eat this pizza. I don't want to be messing with it. She could eat the hell out of a donut though, because she did. She ate a donut hole and donut, and no problem there. But hey, so usually they want to give one slice of pizza to each kid, right? But this man was like, yo, I think that these kids are going to want to have another pizza. I'm going to run out and grab some more pizza. And I overheard this conversation, so I'm like, go. And as the party started to wind down, right, we played our games, we made Christmas ornaments, and it was fun. Fat guy started making plans to like get another slice of pizza to put on her to-go plate. My daughter does not eat pepperoni pizza. She doesn't eat meat. I don't know why. It's just the thing. And the pizza that they had there was pepperoni. So When my daughter was eating her donut, I say out loud for nobody to hear, but for everybody to hear, "Hey, baby, I'm going to go ahead and put a slice of pizza for your mother." some That's some fat guy fakeness right there, okay? I'm not a fat guy, but I'm just saying that's a fat guy thing to do. I ended up putting 2 slices of pizza. So now I had 3 slices of pizza on a plate, on her to-go plate, of which she didn't even want a to-go plate, okay? That's the worst part about it. She wanted a little part of her donut that I could have wrapped in a napkin and carried it out. But anyway, I had already committed, so that was it. I was going to do it. So I walked her out, and we were walking, since her mom works there, we were going to go check in with her. She was going to go to her after school program, and I was going to go hang out with her mom. And we're standing in the middle of the hall, and my wife says to my daughter, "You don't have to keep that pizza. We'll get you some fresh pizza. You don't have to take that home," to my daughter. And she's like, "Wait, what are you talking about? Like, I don't want a pizza." And I was like, "No, no, the pizza's not. It's for you. And I don't want pizza. No, I mean, it was a fat guy busted moment. And it gets worse because 2 things happened. I misunderstood my wife. She said that we were going to go run errands on one version of the afternoon, and the other one was that we were going to go get lunch with. In my mind, what I heard was, if we're not, we're going to go get lunch with my daughter. What she actually was saying was, we can go to lunch and then go run errands. So she's like, "I just got to take care of a few things and I'll meet you outside," right? So she says, "Go eat in your car and watch a TV show." Well, guess what this fat dude did? I went out to my car, I put on my TV show, right? And I ate all the pizza. It was fantastic. It was fun. And then she came out and said, "All right, where do you want to go to lunch?" I was like, "San Antonio." Yeah. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, I ended up going to lunch on top of that. But it was for her benefit, like as everybody would say. It was my misunderstanding. She shouldn't suffer for it. So, I didn't get a crazy lunch, but still, I just wanted to sit there with her and talk. So, but yeah, I beat myself up pretty bad over that day. That was on, Friday, so I'm pretty sure I skipped dinner. We'll just go with that. We'll say that that's what happened. So an update on that bass amp that I bought. If you remember from the last episode, if not, you don't remember, I'll just quickly recap. I have a problem where if I say I'm going to meet you to go buy something, it's very hard for me to say I don't want it, because my mind goes automatically to this person really wants to sell this item. I feel like maybe I'd be like in the case with the bass amp. On the picture, it looked very small, obviously, because that's the thumbnail. But it didn't have anything. It didn't have anything like showing scale. So it just looked like all the other little baby amps. It looked tiny. And so when I showed up, the guy pulls it out of his truck. And I'm like, "Cheese and crackers, that's ginormous." And he looked like he really needed to sell it. So I said, "You know what? I'll take it." I don't want to leave you hanging, friend. And I have this go-to line in my mind where I say, here's 20 bucks for gas. Thank you for bringing it out. I'm not interested, but you know, as a just take this $20 as a consolation prize. But you know, he really seemed like he wanted to sell it. So or that he needed to sell it, I should say. Okay, so an update. I brought the damn thing home. It works. I mean, I knew it worked, but it had a grounding issue that I knew I could resolve, and I did, and it works perfectly fine, just great. Unfortunately, it also was a home, a transporting home of sorts of house roaches. They were infested inside of the shell of the amplifier. We had some inclement weather, so Julie thought she saw a house roach. Usually it's a water bug. If like when there's a shift in weather, like rain and a lot of moisture, sometimes you'll see a giant water bug. No, she saw a house roach in the room that I had stored the bass amp with my equipment and stuff. Very unusual. We didn't know what to think of that. She said, I saw a roach. We need to get, baits and all this, She starts doing a full court press because she's like, it just doesn't make any sense, And then I saw another one. We didn't make the connection. We didn't even think about it. And, she was like, or it could be the bass amp that you brought. And once she said it out loud, all of the information, the condition of the guy's truck, the way that the overall look of the gentleman that sold it, it was highly possible. So I said, I'm going to have to go investigate. And when I hit the bass amp on the top, sure enough, a little baby roach came around the corner and was like, could you quit it with the racket out there? I'm trying to sleep. So I had to put it out on the back patio. I have to take it apart and, try to clean it out. Unfortunately, that's a no-go she won't let it back in the house. Well, it's one of those things where you don't learn the lesson the first time. When I bought the drum set, the initial first drum set, if you're looking at the video, it's this big, pretty silver one. That was her first worry. There was a pillow in the bass drum, as often drummers put pillows in the bass drum to muffle the sound. And she was convinced that it was infested with bugs. So I had to take the drum set 100% apart, all the hardware, all of the screws, everything, skins, and deep clean it, every inch of it. To prove to her and to myself that there wasn't infested with bugs or whatever. And in this now, how do people wear hats? Like, I feel like my head is like freaking out that it's in a hat. I just want to, I don't know, rip it off, just go with my funky hair. No, but anyway, so maybe it's all the talk about bugs that I'm like, feel like I got piojos or something. I'm trying to not freak out on myself, scratch my head. Well, that's a downer though, because I was telling her that I wanted to go back and buy the amp that I wanted to buy. She's like, nope, no more buying stuff off the internet. You're gonna have to buy it brand new. And I hear what you're saying out there in the world of first world problems and, oh, this guy can afford to. I can't afford to buy a brand new amp. She's just saying she won't allow me to bring anything else. Yeah. But I'm probably just going to sell all my other stuff and then see what I have left. On Thursday, I was singing my show, and like I said, I've been fighting this cough like crazy. And I made it pretty much through 3 sets. We do 4 sets. On the 4th one, I was vocally very hurting. I mean, just my chest felt pressured, my throat, everything was just bad. So bad that I just like, I told my cousin just to sing the last song because I couldn't. It's funny because my guitar playing is getting a lot better because I'm not wanting to, I'm wanting to play longer solos so I don't have to mess with coming back to the singing. Anyway, so I had a lot of anxiety coming up on the weekend because we had 2 shows on Saturday. Here's the thing. We're going to do 2 shows yesterday. We're going to do 1 show today, and then I have another show on Monday. And I told my cousin, I said, you know what? I can't heal. I can't get better because I keep pushing myself. It's just, but I don't know, what that looks like to not have to do that. Because what do you do? I mean, it's not like you can cancel a week's worth of shows, Anyway, so I mean, Saturday's the first show is, look, I'll put it this way. We had great shows on both of our shows on Saturday. I sang for 7 hours. And, I obviously I couldn't sing to my full potential, but I sang well enough to get compliments on the singing. But I even got compliments on my guitar playing, which, like I said, doesn't take much, but I can live on that for a very long time. Somebody said that I sounded like ZZ Top guy, the guy from ZZ Top, which is high praise, and I'll take it. But yeah, so we played. We were suggested by these friends of ours that we play a house party for them every now and then. Somebody from their circle had asked for a musical group. So we had done this before where this friend of ours that we played private parties for, they had said, do it for our friend. And we show up and our friends that we know are there. And then, obviously the new families that we're playing for. So it's sort of like an organic way of growing that network of people that we know and are friends with, right? People that appreciate live music or what have you, and they want us to play a private party, but so we felt like that was going to be the same thing last night because we had got the show under the same idea. So the lady said, that we were referred to her by our buddies. So we were like, our buddies are going to be there, right? Because they were every other time. And it was in a very nice neighborhood, very fancy. And while we're parking, different people are walking by us, and we introduce ourselves and confirm that we're at the right spot, stuff like that. And I think context is important, and I think that like referencing memories are important. I'll explain what I mean. All right, we get to the front door and we're piggybacking on some lady that's going ahead of us, right? And we're just very pleasant. We have our guitar cases, and we're walking behind her. Um, and she gets to the door and she opens it on her own. Like she doesn't knock. She just, I guess she knows how to be at a party. And she's like, let me go get somebody that lives here to um, let you guys in. And I'm like, go ahead, say no more. Like, that's completely understandable. And I tell my cousin as much. I'm like, that's understandable. And his comment to me was, yeah, maybe you should have been walking ahead, and they would have had a different reaction. He feels that way, but I had a kind of a curious feeling as to why would he uh, say it like that. You know, he's a little darker complected, and that's his point. But I was like, where is that coming from, right? So the lady comes to the door and she's like, I heard y'all were out here. Why didn't y'all just come in? Whatever. We're like, oh no, it's cool. It's our first time here. We wanted to, you know, do it right. We didn't want to just force our way in or be presumptuous. So we set up, we do the show, and I'm driving him home, and he was telling me that he used to go there as a kid to that neighborhood. The conversation came up because they had warned us about the cops in the area where we're at. It's like a little suburb, and they have their own little cops and stuff, and how they like to pull people over, whatever. And he was saying how he used to go there as a young kid to go visit friends, and that once he was detained there, and that the cops were very racially biased and like questioned everything about his insurance and they made him follow them back to the police station, and gave him a hard time about having his late father's ID in his wallet, and wouldn't let him go. They had to call his family members, and when he was trying to explain that he didn't have a home phone, that they used their aunt's phone, they made racial slurs and degrading comments about him. And I was pretty mortified, man, to be honest with you. I've known my cousin obviously all our lives and hung out with him as much, and never had heard of this treatment. And so his point of reference when he gets to the door and they don't let him in was different than how I interpret it. Because I'm just like, makes sense. I'm a stranger. They've never seen me here, and I've got suitcases and what looks like guitar cases hanging, they don't know. They're all rich and they have all this stuff inside. I get it. They want to be sure before they let me in. But in his mind, it's like they're judging me because, they showed up in my car and, maybe aren't dressed as nice as everybody that's here. It's like a different way of thinking. In my mind, I couldn't give two shits because my talent comes from what I'm going to do. I don't have to be dressed fancy to go in there and do what I do. But um, plus, I wasn't thinking that it was a hoity-toity party. I thought it was going to be like a chill party with our, the friends of the friends. You know what I'm saying? So I was just wearing like a flannel, like buttoned up flannel and jeans, you know. And I thought that was dressing up because under that I had like a black shirt with like a robot, the one I have with a black shirt with a robot holding brains and stuff. Anyway, in other words, I get it that they didn't let me in, but it rang different. It hit different the way he said it. Um, and so I felt bad because he was walking right behind her, and so he felt that was why. Nobody should feel that way. But they were all super sweet, and it was not the case. They were very nice and very receptive, and they enjoyed the music, and they welcomed us. I'll tell you one thing though. I get these cramps like in my upper body. I don't know if it's because I have to drink so much water so fast to sing. I don't know. It's because I have scoliosis and my back has a weird alignment and maybe puts pressure on my organs. I don't know what it is, but I spasm like the whole from my daytime show all the way to the night. And we had to take a break so I could go to the bathroom and try to stretch it out because it hurts to sing, it hurts to walk, it hurts to stand. It was obnoxious, man. And, and this is where it's the flip side, where my cousin doesn't know what I'm going through. Because he's like, why are you always going to be touching your toes? Or like, why are you doing like calisthenics, like doing stretches and stuff on stage? Like, I mean, obviously I know I look fucking stupid. I know I look dumb. I get it. But, the pain is so bad that I don't know what to do. Like, I feel like if I don't, the song's like started, I'm going to have to sing. It hurts to sing. It hurts to move. I'm having to do tambourine, so I'm already moving my body. It's torture. And if I don't pop it right or do what I got to do to free up that pressure, then it spasms and it's just horrible. But anyway, that was what I was dealing with. Between that and my voice going out, it was just rough. But we made it through, and it's more than I could have expected for the 2 shows on Saturday. I got one today. We just got to make it through the 4 hours. And then tomorrow, Monday nights are cool because, like, if we want to jam new songs or do, like, long guitar solo back and forth, we can. I mean, especially people are watching Monday Night Football and not caring about the music. It's funny, too, because when we got there, we were like, lady, like, none of our friends showed up. It was an 80th birthday party. The man looked so good for 80, it bugged me. He looked like he was 60. And he was like drinking like a fish and like partying out. It was wild. I didn't understand it. But anyway, we asked the lady what kind of music she wanted to hear. And she said, well, when I initially got you guys, I was thinking classical guitar. Okay. And she was like, and what were we all thinking of playing? Well, we do what we do. And turned out that that's what her husband really wanted was our style of music. So, but I was telling, we could have just jammed, like jazzy chord progressions with like um, cool guitar solos. I mean, it would have been fun. You know, people don't know, sometimes they don't know the difference, you know. Not to not give them credit, but I'm just saying. All right. Well, I was going to talk about at work, we did a white elephant thing. I didn't come out too bad. I bought what I would have wanted to receive, thinking I was going to get it back, but I put it out in the world and somebody else got it, and I'm hoping that they enjoy it. I bought like a nice bottle of Jack Daniels with like these little fancy glasses that you can, pour your 2 fingers of Jack Daniels neat and sit back and drink from. Then I got like a sampler plate of like all these different mini bottles of like weird liquors that are probably gonna, make me act funny on certain nights. I told my wife, I was like, you could drink them because, I don't know what the hell they are. But you know what? I'm happy that I participated, and that's for another day. We're about to go on a mini vacation for my daughter's birthday. She opted to go on a family trip instead of getting like a big party. We're gonna do a small little party and go on a little family trip to her favorite indoor water park. So we're excited about it. I'll tell you all about it next week. But I'm not looking forward to being at a water park. Unless I wear one of those scuba water outfits, Anyway, I'm going to see y'all next week. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. If you would please message me at lostlikemike@gmail.com. Let me know what you're thinking about and how you're doing.